Yeah, Kamani, I'm curious how much you've looked at UConn already, and if you have any early impressions of that matchup.
We started looking at them right after their game ended, and we knew we were going to play them. We had a practice last night and kind of like a film and walkthrough session. And obviously, we're going to practice and go over them, here on out. Um, I think we match up well with them. I mean, it's just going to be another war. Obviously, they have two pretty good bigs, and they surround the bigs with some pretty good pieces. So we've been looking at them, but I think we match up well with them.
And I was curious. I don't know how much y'all have matched up in practice because different positions or whatever. I'm curious from a player's perspective. What's it like being defended by Jordan Walsh? Like, what kind of challenge is that when you got Walsh trying to lock you up?
I mean, Jordan, he's super active on the defensive end, and he's long and kind of uh, moves well for his size, and he's pretty strong too. So I know, like when we kind of go at it in practice and guard each other, he's pretty good on defense.
Scotty?
Yeah, Kamani, you mentioned UConn's got a couple of pretty solid bigs. Sonogo, I think, was a honorable mention, All American. You have any impressions on him, or just kind of what stands out to you about him?
Yeah, he's like super active, big. He's kind of like Oscar like with his motor and just how he crashes the glass and how aggressive and physical he is. But he's super skilled in the post too. So I mean, we've been watching film on him, and we're game planning towards it. I think we'll be fine though.
I think there's been like 10 or more games this year where you finished with more offensive boards than defensive boards. What is it about you that allows you to just carve out space and grab offensive boards? What kind of like how are you wired that way?
I mean, just the game plan for us, must always says is to get extra possessions because especially in March, the games come down to like a couple possessions as you guys see. So just try to get like extra possessions for the team. That's kind of been like Musk's theme and game plan ever since I've been here. So it's kind of like just me trying to be a star in my role.
Curtis?
Hey, Kamani, I wanted to ask you a follow-up on Jordan Walsh. He's gone through the ups and downs that any freshman will, but it seems like he's just really stepped up in the tournament for you guys so far. Just what have you made of the way he's played and the impact he's had?
Yeah, I mean, when you're a freshman, you kind of got to get used to things, and it could kind of be difficult when you come here and things don't go your way. But I mean, if anything, it's just credits to him when the lights are bright. He's showing up and performing, and that's what we needed from him right now, and that's what we're getting. So I think he's been a great addition in March, and he's kind of been an X factor on why we're winning these games.
Just curious, how validating has it been for you guys to reach this point, just with the ups and downs, the obstacles that you faced this year? You've kind of wound up where people expected you to be in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, our goal from the start of the season was to win a national championship, and then of course, some injuries and things happened, and it just felt good to get to the Sweet 16. But I mean, now it's kind of like our goal is still the same. So I don't think anybody here is like satisfied. We're going down to Vegas to get us two more, and then try to get to Houston. So that's kind of our game plan, and I think everybody in the locker room has the same mindset.
Bob?
Hey, Kamani, how you doing? You're making me famous on Twitter.
We always
Hey,
go famous, Bob. No cap.
okay, thank you. Hey, you started the SEC tournament game against Auburn, then you don't play against A&M, but I watch you on the bench. You're always enthusiastic. You're always supporting guys. Then you start the tournament games, and in 31 minutes, I think you got 15 boards, and were really key in those games. I think a lot of guys, they didn't start a game, they wouldn't react real well to it, but it doesn't seem to impact your attitude or how you play. How do you deal with that, going from not playing and then you play really big in two NCAA tournament games?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just, I mean, I've just always been a team player, and I can just do whatever I need to do to help the team win, and that's kind of been my mindset. And I know like I have more experience than anybody here, so I kind of got to be the voice from the bench and, help in that way too. So I think you just always got to stay ready for your moment. That's something that I learned by being here and playing under Muss is like there might be games where you don't play, but you're just as important as the people on the court. And I think everybody on our team understands that. And, just playing for us, you just learn that.
And then I had a question about Jordan too. I guess you're getting inundated with these questions, but you look, a lot of people have a tendency to look at points, right? Media, fans, whoever, players maybe too. And Jordan scored okay, but I think he's averaging about 7 points or some, and I think he scored 60 in those 2 games. But he just impacts the game in so many different ways and things that don't show up in the box score. And I was talking to AB about this, and he said, maybe his role wasn't what he imagined at the start of the season. I'm guessing I thought he'd score more, whatever. But how have you thought about the way he sort of evolved? And he said he really doesn't care if he scores. He wants to play defense and rebound. Obviously he wants to score too, probably. But what have you thought about the way he's accepted the role and doing all the kind of a lot of the unseen little things to help you guys win?
Yeah, you learn here quick that, everybody really can't score, and you kind of have to find your role and be a star in your role, and that's how you're going to get on the floor and get minutes from us. And I think Jordan just adapted really, really well. He kind of got down a little bit, but I like the way that he bounced back and kind of just bought in. I think right now Jordan Walsh is just super bought into what Muss is saying and the staff is saying and just how we do things here, and that's why he's having the success that he's having.
And nothing can be said after the game was that, he wasn't having a real good game offensively. Nick struggled. Jordan doesn't score a ton, but he said they kind of turned it over to the vets, guys like yourself and Devo and Ricky, older guys who'd played in the NCAA tournament before. I guess Ricky played at Wichita, I think. What'd you think about that? Maybe guys deferring to y'all a little bit who, the young stars and just the way you old guys or the OGs came through.
I like that, Bob. Bob, the growth is crazy this year for me and you. But no, I think it just tells you how deep and versatile our group is. Our group is, and it's glad that the young guys trust us to handle stuff and they not force it, and as vets and OGs, we trust them right back to do their thing and rock out there, and it just shows you how deep our team is and how versatile our team is, and that's kind of one of the scariest things about us because you never know who's going to be on that night and where the attack is going to come from. So I think that just shows you, how versatile and deep our team is.
Yeah, thanks, Kamani.
Courtney?
Hey, Kamani, I just have a quick question for you. You guys are the 8 seed. It's tough to get to this point as an 8 seed. You look at the history, years past, only 5%, I believe, make it to the Elite 8 past this. It's just a tough path for any 8 seed in the tournament. What about this team makes you think you can go all the way and, solidify yourselves in history as a team that gets all the way to the championship as an 8 seed?
I just think with our team, talent never been the problem. We had problems during the season, but I think in our games, if you think about our 2 Alabama games, we were up big in the second half. We kind of let those drop. We let one at A&M drop. We battled against Creighton. When it comes to certain games, I look throughout the season, we just struggled, but I don't think we ever had the attitude like that. We were going in thinking we were going to lose these games. We kind of just let things slip away. And, during March, we're kind of figuring out those problems and switching the flip back on. We're not dropping leads. We're answering the runs and stuff like that. So we're just peaking in March, I think. And, this team is talented. Like I said earlier, our goal was to win a national championship. And, it's still our goal. We didn't really care what seed number we got.
Thanks, Kamani.
Of course.
Jacob? Sorry, Jonathan?
Hey, Kamani. Coach Muss has now taken 3 different teams to this stage in consecutive years. What is it about Coach Muss this time of year that gets the best out of you guys and out of his team that allows you guys to make these runs in March?
I just think it's just the preparation. We're probably, I'm not even going to say probably, we're definitely the most prepared team going into a game. I think in March when you kind of get matched up with different conferences and different teams and different styles, that just helps a lot. And then, we kind of always just tend to peak in March. It's kind of weird. I feel like I'm having deja vu or something. So I don't really have no answer to that. But I guess it's just like Muff's philosophy or something. I don't know.
Andrew, final question.
Yeah, Kamani, I think Bob mentioned, Nick has struggled the last few games. I'm curious, as an older guy, as a veteran, do you try to take him aside and try to say anything encouraging? Like, how do you handle that? Are you trying to be a good, how's he doing?
Yeah, I mean, Nick hasn't had the 2 games that he wanted to have, but I mean, Nick's a basketball player. He's a dog. He's him for that reason. So I mean, we're in his ear. We're giving him encouragement. I mean, I don't think anybody on the team has lost any type of trust or faith in him. We know who he is, and we know what he can do. You know what I mean? So it's 2 games. Them 2 games are over with. It's a new city, and I expect Nick to have big games.
Thanks, Kamani. Appreciate your time.